All right, welcome back to the channel. Steven Espinoza absolutely lights a bomb off on a Twitter post that was directed at the president, but landed on the chin of ESPN and Ring Magazine when he says it changes the pound for pound boxing rankings if you take out black fighters. That is a huge statement coming from the guy that runs sports for Showtime, one of the biggest boxing networks in the world. Let's talk about what that means in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Now, first things first, I got to give you guys a disclaimer about Steven Espinoza. I like Steven Espinoza. I have watched Steven Espinoza's career for a long time now, and I like the way the guy moves. I like the way the guy thinks because he is a businessman, and he is trying his best to do the best by his network, which has been the most consistent and best boxing network, in my opinion, for this century. From the year 2000 and on, Showtime Sports has been the best. If you look at the fighters and the fights that have come through there, they have been top notch. And one of the reasons why is because Steven Espinoza has an understanding for the demographics of boxing fans. And he runs his business in recognition of the facts. And that is why I like Steven Espinoza. I do not have to agree with everything he says, everything Showtime does, because that's just not how life works. But when you see somebody that makes decisions based on objective facts and tries his best to be fair to people around him, you've got to respect him. And that's why I've always held Steven Espinoza in high regards when I have not felt that way about Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, and multitudes of other people. Not saying he's perfect, just saying I respect him. Now, what did he say that makes me say this is big? When he says, well, let me tell you what happened first. Got on my Twitter and going through my feeds, and Steven Espinoza responds to all people, Rudy Giuliani, who's giving a speech about some results in Michigan, right? And he says, hey, if you change these votes in Michigan, it changes the outcome of the election, don't you see? Right now, I'm not getting into the political stuff because, quite honestly, I don't care about it. I think we're going to be screwed either way it goes. But that is just my personal belief. Now, but when Steven Espinoza responds, it changes pound for pound rankings if you take out black fighters. That's a shot at ESPN. That's a shot at Showtime. Because you know why? Because that is what they're doing. ESPN and Ring Magazine, and I've been saying this for years now, and it's never changed, have a quota system when it comes to black fighters. There's never more than 2. If there's 3, it's because one of them is going to fight in a fight that they're about to lose and they get put off. But the idea that Gennady Golovkin, Juan Carlos Estrada, Vasily Lomachenko coming off of a loss, all of these guys, Teofimo Lopez with 1 win against a guy over Lomachenko, jumps all the way up into the top 5. What is that doing? That is stealing value from black fighters. And it absolutely is. Because when people go and say, who is the best fighter? They look at ESPN and they see a list of people. They don't know any better. They don't know that Gennady Golovkin has not really been considered a serious top fighter for several years now when they look at that list. But why is he on there? Why is he on there? But Jermell Charlo, who just beat Jason Rosario, who overcame Tony Harrison in a loss, why isn't he on there? What's the explanation for Gary Russell Jr. not being on there when Tyson Fury is? Tyson Fury is out there known to the world as a cheater with glove. The dude has had steroid violations, for goodness sake. But you keep him on that list. Well, what does that do? It changes the perspective, the perception of the boxing world, and it makes something that is not true look true. And you heard it out of Paulie Malignaggi's mouth. Paulie Malignaggi said, the age of the black fighter is over with. You used to dominate a long time ago, but look, you don't dominate anymore. And what do they point to? They point to the pound for pound list. Because guess what? Alexander Usyk is a heavyweight that ain't fought nobody at heavyweight and hasn't had a legitimate fight in a year and a half. Vasily Lomachenko just lost to a guy that was a prospect and had a hard time against Nakatani, and he's 14-2. He lost to a journeyman and he lost to a prospect on tail ends of his career. That's only 16 fights. He loses, but yet he stays on the list. Jermell Charlo wins and he never makes it. The best ESPN has done to recognize any of these fighters is what they did with Gervonta Davis, and I couldn't believe it. I go to the ESPN pound for pound list and it says, Teofimo Lopez rises, Gervonta Davis makes a move. And I look, and it's a pound for pound list, and I'm like, they say Gervonta Davis made a move. What move did he make? He's not on the list. Oh, I look down into the other notables where it says that he got 6 votes. 6 votes. Oh, what an improvement for Gervonta Davis, the guy that knocked out Jose Pedraza, a guy that took Lomachenko the distance, even though Lomachenko's there, right? Lomachenko stays on there with losses to Orlando Salido and Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis only makes a little bit of a bump when he beats a four division champ Leo Santa Cruz in a knockout win. What? How does that work? Logically, how does that work? It doesn't. Juan Carlos Estrada is on that list. Dude, he lost. He's already lost 3 times. How is he on that list? Why is it that a black fighter, it seems, to be on that list has to be undefeated, where everybody else can get multiple losses? Canelo can get a loss. Gennady Golovkin can get a loss and a draw. Juan Carlos Estrada, I do believe, can get 3 losses. Monster Inoue can get beat up by an old man, get cut up and beat up by an old man and Nonito Donaire, and all it is for him is, hey, it's just another reason to say why this guy is getting better. But Guillermo Rigondeaux gets beat by a guy that's the number one guy on their own list, and when he loses to them after moving up 2 weight classes, Guillermo Rigondeaux drops completely off the list. Dude, these are very inconsistent policies. These are very inconsistent outcomes in the sense that it's inconsistent with the way they treat somebody that they want to be on that list. And I understand what it is. I understand why they're leaving these people off these lists and doing it. I know it's a promotional thing. ESPN airs the fights of half the people on the list. And Ring Magazine is owned by a promoter that manages or that promotes or wants to promote several of them. It gives this false internationalism to the sport of boxing that doesn't exist, because the bulk of the talented fighters exist in one place, but yet they are undervaluing them. They are minimizing their contributions, and I explained this with the Terrence Crawford video, and they are exaggerating the international peoples. They're exaggerating it. Come on, man. There's not enough people at 105-pound division to really even call it a weight class. There's only 100 of them in the country. There's only 100 of them in the world. And how many people at those lower weight classes continue to get shot after shot after shot at a belt? 6, 7 shots at a championship. But yet they've got losing records. That tells you that there's just not enough people in that division. But like Steven Espinoza said, by taking out black fighters from the list for whatever reason, it skews what you think of it. Showtime and Fox have the best roster in sports, in boxing, period, and it's not close. But yet, if you looked at the pound for pound list, you would swear it was ESPN. I mean, you would swear it was Top Rank. But when we look at we actually know as boxing fans that that's not the case, right? So Steven Espinoza saying this is a big thing because it is a recognition of what is going on. And I'm not saying that Steven Espinoza is doing it because he loves black people. I don't know that he does. I don't know that he doesn't. I suspect it's because it is a business problem that he has. Because he has the best fighters, but yet Dan Rayfield, Steve Kim, Mark Kriegel, and all these, and Sean Porter is starting to angle to be one of those guys too, or Andre Ward are all out there stealing the value, right, by minimizing the fighters that fight on those networks and creating a false perception of superiority of the fighters in the ESPN and the Top Rank ranks. And it's just a sham in boxing. But that's my take. Shout out to Steven Espinoza for saying it. That's my take on what he says. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.